Hello and welcome back to Crypto Globe, everyone. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that we've been quite bullish on Cardano. We, and many others on the channel, have been bullish on Cardano's prices, forecasting that it will rise to new highs. However, just like everything in today's world, especially the crypto industry, there are plenty of drawbacks to consider when making an investment. With that in mind, here are some of the most common issues that people have with Cardano, which many believe could lead to it falling out of the top 10 cryptos in the world. But first, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you turn on notifiable content. One of the most significant difficulties Cardano is now facing is scalability, which has rendered several decentralized applications, such as MinSwap, inoperable. When Cardano just introduced smart contracts, the first decentralized exchange to run on the platform ran into serious scalability challenges, which rightly raised concerns about Cardano's ability to run smart contracts. Many in the Cardano community were ecstatic because it was the next big step for the Cardano cryptocurrency platform, but it now appears that this was simply exposed for the Cardano blockchain's limitations. Users testing MinSwap were surprised to discover that the DApp could only handle one transaction per block. In fact, MinSwap noted in a tweet that it is unfortunate that we have to temporarily shut down our test net because we've gathered enough data from our testers. While Cardano has a sizable community of supporters who believe that the coin's long-term success is inevitable, pessimists believe that it lacks the necessary resources to compete in the cutthroat crypto industry. It currently ranks third behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, and difficulties in consensus, as well as other issues, could see it fall out of the top 10. Cardano may very well become a forgotten footnote in the crypto industry. This doesn't mean it will happen, as anything is possible in the notoriously volatile crypto world, but given the problems Cardano has been facing recently in particular, its chances of success appear to be fading. It appears that many in the Cardano community don't anticipate how difficult building scalable decentralized applications on the blockchain is going to be. Currently, UTXO-based smart contract blockchains make it difficult for developers to improve currency without decentralization and security, whereas account-based models allow many users to interact with the same smart contracts by default, which is obviously a huge benefit and is already causing a major headache for Cardano developers. Those who develop apps on the Cardano blockchain have been forced to look at alternative means of achieving concurrency, such as working around the clock. Developers could create dApps that allow segmentation or aggregation of many interactions to settle on the same state, but this would fragment liquidity into multiple states, reducing capital efficiency in a decentralized exchange. Alternatively, they could use third-party-based sequences to combine multiple transactions that can be settled as a single transaction in the same pool. This could work, but there is a risk that it will fail. Finally, there's still a big question mark over whether Cardano can support scalability and efficiently decentralized exchanges that are fully on-chain. Critics believe it's unlikely that Cardano will be able to solve the concurrency issue without making security or centralization compromises. In the end, app developers may be able to work on this issue, but it will require centralization, significant development, and new exchanges. But before we get into that, let's talk about some of the other things. That Lolli is a Bitcoin-based program and browser add-on that rewards you with free Bitcoin whenever you shop online. Lolli offers 30 Bitcoin back to your Lolli wallet on purchases from over 1,000 brands on the app, including Nike, eBay, and Adidas. The choice is yours, and it only takes 2 clicks and 30 seconds of your time to make a purchase and claim your Bitcoin back. Click the link at the top of this description to learn more, and try Lolli right now. Return to the video. Cardano also faces the problem of being vulnerable to spam attacks. The reason for this is that transactions are processed in a first-in first-out sequence, independent of the fees paid. This means that whoever submits a transaction first will have it processed, regardless of how high the charge was paid. This may appear to be a fair system. The problem is that a spammer or other cyber attacker could easily take down the platform, preventing real transactions from going through. As we all know, the internet can be a scary place, and the cryptocurrency industry attracts its fair share of crazy people. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to believe that a scammer or spammer would do something similar to Cardano to prove a point or to settle some real or imagined grievance. Just a few months ago, Nano's network was spammed, causing major problems for the platform, and in this case, Cardano's low transaction fees could work against it, making it an easy target. As a result, this could be a real threat to Cardano's profitability in the future. In fact, the price of ADA has been rather subdued, despite the fact that the Alonzo hard fork recently went through. However, as we already mentioned, there has been, even while Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson described Alonzo as ushering in a new era for Cardano, it appears that all of these promises have been put on hold, and it's looking increasingly unlikely that Cardano will be able to launch the type of amazing application that it promised in September. It could take years for high-quality dApps to appear, which will put Cardano behind many competitors like Ethereum, who have already been extremely popular and have very popular apps on their blockchain. Whether the hype will be enough to keep it going in the interim period remains to be seen. You might think we're being too harsh on Cardano here, but keep in mind that it's still down 33% from its peak. Cardano was once compared to Ethereum, however it has recently been surpassed by Solana. Solana has a market valuation of $72 billion, compared to Cardano's $42 billion, and some cryptocurrency watchers believe that Solana has surpassed Cardano as a cutting-edge threat to Ethereum. Here again, a lack of dApps is hurting Cardano, while Solana has been hosting smart contracts, apps, and non-fungible tokens on a less congested network than Cardano. In fact, Solana's ecosystem of Solana has outperformed Cardano in other areas, such as its ability to assist in the creation of NFTs, which has allowed it to capture a significant portion of the NFT market. Cardano was nowhere to be found and is nowhere near as competitive in terms of NFT. This puts Cardano behind the curve because NFTs aren't just for art collectors. The growing popularity of the Axie Infinity blockchain-based game has increased the utility of NFTs by allowing them to be used as in-game tokens. This means that Solana has been rising, but don't forget that other cryptocurrency firms have their eyes on Cardano's position in the marketplace. There are several, including ourselves, who are supporters of Cardano, and we can most definitely see a huge increase in those prices. So all of you out there, just remember that Cardano is a coin mint for the long term. Its progress is slow, so we won't see any major profits for a few months, but 10 or 20 years down the road. Best of luck with your investments.